then I got tied up in another meeting and I was little 5 minutes late in joining in. And
don't worry. Yeah, don't worry
good.
at
We
all.
are fresh now and you are also done with a day's work. So this is a good time to meet.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely. And Terrence, I believe you're on as well, right?
Yeah, Terry should be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's muted right now.
Yes, sir, I'm here. Yes, sir, I'm here.
So Terrence, we're going to turn it over to you.
Well, I don't know that I'm qualified for that, but I want to thank all of you for the time and this morning. I'm able to Dr. Mufati and the amazing work that he's doing on a global level. After hearing about what he's doing and the resources available with Kyocera, I also thought that it was important to connect you and bring the team in that you have to see how we can accomplish the goal that will allow him to accomplish his goals. And so with Patrick joining from Kyocera, Steve from Kyocera, we have Keith from CloudTrek.
Yes.
And Dr. Mufati, I'm going to turn it over to you to share with these amazingly brilliant gentlemen what it is you want, and so we can get about the business of quietly making it happen.
So let me briefly introduce myself. I got my basic education in chemical engineering from Karachi, and then went to Detroit, Michigan to get my master's in chemical engineering, diversified, and it was a blessing for me to diversify into a food engineering project and got a PhD in food science from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And then enjoyed Nova Scotia, Canada, to relax after all the hard work of PhD, to do some postdoctoral work over there. And then my parents decided that they simply instructed me, enough of North America, Mufaddal, we miss you in Pakistan, so come back. So I just follow my mother. My mother's wish was that I should be with her. So I returned to Pakistan. And another blessing happened. As soon as I returned to Pakistan, actually declined the position I was offered by Procter & Gamble in USA, to head their food extrusion research over there. But then, blessing happened. And when I returned to Pakistan, I joined the startup team of Procter & Gamble, in Pakistan, started up the team. And I mean, that was a wealth of experience I've acquired in a very, very brief amount of time. And I was part of the team, which Procter & Gamble, in the Procter & Gamble world, they call it a miracle making team. So, I was part of that team. Procter & Gamble still is a wonderful company, exists in Pakistan, doing very well. But then I decided that, when I was on the top of the ladder of Procter & Gamble, releasing as a QA manager all their products, I said enough of employment anymore. I'm making billions of dollars for this company. And, my package is like 1 part per billion, as a very senior manager. So at that point in time, we decided that, okay, let's try some taste of entrepreneurship. Right. Okay, and then my brother was working for a huge textile group. So we were enjoying a very, very high profile, corporate life. But then both of us decided that now we should enter into entrepreneurship. And then, we started our own organization, and that's how the entrepreneurship journey began. We set up our own textile unit in Pakistan, and then because of this WTO and all the crisis in the textile industry, at that point in time, we had to diversify. So at the right moment, we got out of that business. And then I went back again to academia and joined Institute of Business Management as Associate Professor of Industrial Engineering and Management. And I learned business, and all the problems associated with business. Mm-hmm. And then one of my students, because I always take oral exams. So one of my students who was not doing well in his course, total quality, management course, he comes and tells me, makes a statement in my Viva, session. And Mufaddal, you are a great professor, but you are a lousy entrepreneur. So I said,
That's
well,
nice to
man.
hear.
So I told him, man, I think I'll give you, 5 minutes to prove your point. Otherwise, you got an F. So
Right.
then the guy comes and tells me, you can give me whatever you want to give, Mufaddal, but I have given you an F.
Right.
So I said, well, this is the only right thing you have done,
Right.
because my response to you deserved an F.
Right.
Okay. So then I gave him 10 minutes and he proved the point. He
Right.
said, Mufaddal, if you just give me your resume, okay, your resume, and don't do anything, enjoy a good life in Switzerland. We will do all the work for you and you will make 100 times more money than what you are making now.
Right.
And that's how the Total Quality Life Maintenance Association in industrial, in Institute of Business Management got transformed into TQLMA.
Right.
Okay,
So did
because
he
it
get
was
an
a
A?
synod.
So did he get an A in your class?
Oh, he got an A in the class. Positively, he got an A because he actually created this company.
Right. Right.
And I think
Wow.
it made all the sense.
Right.
Okay, I mean, he did all, and even though he actually did so much research on me that I was surprised that, where I was born, what I did in my, all the years. I didn't knew a lot of the things he was talking to me. I
Right.
said, well, this guy has really entered into my, complete system.
Right.
Yeah.
And he did all the research, about me.
Hmm.
And then he made a statement.
Right.
So I think that was a blessing. The company got created as a proprietorship. Then, it got elevated into a private limited company. And today we are talking about a SAMS TQLMA Global to really duplicate, Procter & Gamble model. The company I started, I know the company inside out. And then I said, okay, we need to really, to solve the global problems, we need to really set up a global corporation like P&G. And, P&G and Walmart are very good buddies. So, these are the two leading organizations in the world today, Walmart and P&G. So I got sort of, that's how we created this whole situation. And the SAMS, SAMS is actually an abbreviation of our religious leader, Sayyidina Ali Qadar Mufaddal Saifuddin. So that SAMS, brand sinks in with, SAMS Walton also.
Hmm.
So now what we are interested in doing is this, that I love and I taught Japanese, systems. I mean, I love it, Toyota production system and just in time philosophy and all that stuff, as a quality assurance manager, this is what I was, doing and teaching. And then, my students used to tell me, when I used to give them the lectures in the classroom, they used to tell me, Mufaddal, when you come to the classroom, we are in heaven.
Yeah.
As soon as you leave the classroom, when we go out of your classroom, we are back in hell.
That's funny.
So then, I think it made a lot of good sense. And then, the term GEMBA, you are very familiar with the term GEMBA.
Yeah.
And this is what our Global Executive MBA program abbreviation also is in GEMBA.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, leave the campus, comfort of the campus, and go to GEMBA. And the GEMBA assignments I did, when I started up my company was visiting all the dairy farms of Karachi. Because, Karachi dairy farms produces 10 million liters of milk a day.
Wow.
And all of that milk causes cancer. Huge problem, okay? And I said, well, I mean, as a food scientist, as a chemical engineer, if I don't solve this problem, then I've not done anything. So the first assignment was, from Bill Susinski of Energine University was, Mufaddal, we love your, buffaloes in Pakistan. Okay. And Pakistan is the largest polluter because all that buffalo dung is, thrown out in the ocean. So we can transform that dung into something useful. So, let's sign a contract with the farmers over there, since I was working with the farmers. So I signed a contract with the largest farmer, of our region, Sin Dairy Farm, owning 200-acre land and 10,000 heads animal. And we said, okay, I would like to, utilize your dung and, we will set up the campus in your 200 acres. So they signed the contract. I mean, it was just 5 minutes. And this guy is a businessman, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you 10% more and you have to do 10% less work. Are you interested?
Mhm.
And the guy said, yes, 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 yes. Tell me, can I do that? He signed the contract. I sent the contract to Bill Susinski. And then, the money was supposed to be coming from a German bank. And then when the owner of the farm realized that the money is coming from a bank, he says, Mufaddal, I don't want any bank money. It has to be money with zero interest, So that's an Islamic finance kind of a model,
Right.
So then Bill Susinski told me that, Mufaddal, I don't know anything about Islamic finance, So you are no longer a 5% stakeholder in this business, but you own 95% of the business. You arrange the finance, you manage Sindh Dairy Farm and everything. I'm going to just provide you my technology, and I'm happy with 5%. So that's how the whole journey began.
Right.
And then, it was very difficult for me to raise $200 million at that time. And I've been trying to do, based on Islamic finance. So eventually that $200 million project of campus town got transformed by Dr. Paul Olivier into this Wheel of Life Farm School, which now we can build for $1 million, which is very, very doable.
Mhm.
So that's how the whole thing started. Now in the center, we will have this Wheel of Life Farm School, and it will be supporting 110 home self-sustaining community, which was designed by my, inventor of the Koto Intelligent Building System in Australia. Okay. So now we are talking about building this self-sustaining communities, 500 of them in this Buffalo gold mine, and which will become a sort of a campus town. Okay, so that is a project we are already on. We are acquiring this gold mine, Buffalo gold mine in Oregon. And, I'm using, I was in Dubai actually on a gold transaction, and I'm using currently a Kyocera phone because that's the only phone I found which was shockproof and which was looking elegant also, So
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty rugged. Yeah, you can drop
pretty rugged
them from,
phones, I mean, and the requirement I posed was that, okay, I want to give this phone to buffaloes,
Yeah.
and I want that phone to work. Okay. And they say, fine, it will work, So I got that Kyocera phone. I'm really delighted. It works very well. And now what we want to do is this, that, I mean, I'm talking about 7 billion residents, 2 billion mothers getting enrolled into our GEMBA program, to get this global executive MBA, GEMBA in entrepreneurship, We are offering this program for 5,300 people's gold coin. That is a gold coin as a gold miner. I developed that small coin, which is equivalent to 0.025 gram gold and, 2 Canadian dollars. Everybody can afford that. And then with that, we are enrolling everybody into our TQLMA club. We'll call it a SAMS TQLMA club, because I've added the TQLMA in between because SAMS club also is there in USA. So the SAMS TQLMA club ownership membership can be acquired with 1 PGC. And 7 billion, 8 billion, all residents of our planet, will be sort of enjoying this inflation-free life through their e-wallets. Whatever amount of money they have will be transformed into gold immediately, and then that gold will be reflecting in their e-wallets. And we would love, to integrate the Japanese technology of really setting up a Holochain data center in this Buffalo gold mine. And all other, Japanese technologies, which we can utilize, I would love to do that. And then maybe one day we would like to come Mitsubishi people whom I'm using in, in Tokyo for my gold processing, would love to come and learn from us, I want to become better than Mitsubishi.
There you go. Yeah. So Keith, I know that you probably have a lot of questions concerning how they want to set up the e-wallet. So,
yeah, so I just need to, so this e-wallet, can you expand? So this e-wallet, it's just an application that holds currency. I mean, I need to understand a little bit about.
Okay, what we want to do, Keith, what we want to do is this. we don't want to enter into this domain of Bitcoin and currency and all that mess.
Mhm.
I'm not interested in really, getting into that domain.
Right.
I'm simply interested in using the Holochain technology, which is a climate smart blockchain technology. Okay. And some companies in UK, etc., are offering the blockchain gold. And the idea is very simple. Okay. That when you buy the gold, you need to secure that gold in a bank. Okay.
Mhm.
And that is an expense to you. So what we are offering as a Holochain gold is this, that, whoever owns the gold, they don't have to worry about securing it. It will be secured in our, blockchain, Holochain data center, most securest place. We will form a nice, beautiful bunker inside my, huge fish pond, which I'm making in our Wheel of Life Farm School. So it will be like an underground bunker, which is not easily accessible by anybody. Okay, so my gold is kept over there. My data center equipments will be secured in that nice, beautiful facility, powered by 100% powered by our, renewable energy power systems.
Okay. So what you're looking for then is infrastructure.
Infrastructure in terms of providing the hardware. And
Okay.
then, software has already been developed by people. So we will simply utilize that hardware, and the hardware should be supporting 7 billion, the data for all the residents of our planet, basically.
Right.
Okay, so what you're, instead of utilizing, let's say, so let me just back up real quick. So I'm not certain how much you know about CloudTrek. So CloudTrek, we are a private held company. We've been around, essentially we've been around since 1995. We started off in the colo space, and over time morphed into not just colo, but also in a private cloud environment. So what our offering is that we actually have the infrastructure to help support any sort of initiative or applications without you actually having to go out and purchase as a capital expenditure for all that hardware. We've utilized Dell EMCs as our standard platform on a hyperconverged technology. So we basically have a bunch of servers that have your flavor of hypervisor. We utilize Microsoft Hyper-V, but then of course we have VMware and or Linux. So we provide that as a service, and everything that we've constructed our platform is high performance, meaning it's the top end Dell servers. We're using NVMe SSD, and I can illustrate through a quick presentation as well. But I just want to make sure I understand what you're relaying to me, because it sounds like you're talking about an area for your data center, and that data center is going to be propagated with equipment, and then that would be run as your private data center. Would that be correct?
One thing, Keith, one thing I learned from Procter & Gamble, as well as in all the Japanese, philosophies I've been teaching, is do not reinvent the wheel. Okay. So whatever is existing currently, okay, if the current, say your system can support, so many number of data points, or, so then what we do is we simply utilize that, and I say, enhance it now. So we are interested, primary interest is to provide education and healthcare to global families. Okay, so divide 8 billion people divided by 5 are the number of data points probably we need, because, one data point for each family. And then eventually, obviously, all the family members are also going to be there, because each one will have a unique identification. So 8 billion to 10 billion is what we should be planning. That, okay, 10 billion clients are there who needs to be, whom we need to provide total quality healthcare, since you talked about a healthcare system, right?
Right.
And now with that healthcare system as a primary system, everything else will sort of, fit in very nicely into it. Because our Wheel of Life Farm School also has a unique proposition. We call it a hospitality center, not hospital. Because hospitals currently are a source of huge waste. Okay. The concept is very simple, right?
Right.
I mean, all the hospital beds, etc., are vacant, generally. Nowadays, they are full, operating on a full capacity. But generally, they are vacant, right? So if we can transform and utilize those rooms as a hospitality, center as an ecotourism kind of a situation, where instead of hotels, people can come and live in a wonderful environment of a hospital and enjoy the good hospitality, good food, test them out, have their systems checked out. So all their healthcare systems has been taken care of while they are vacationing.
Yeah. So Keith, the one thing about it, so you guys have the data centers, you guys could supply the infrastructure and all that, and everything within the CloudTrek thing is scalable. So as they're adding more people to the solution, that solution could just scale up, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So what we have is we can kind of refer it as a starter pack. Let me, if I can grab the screen here and let me see if I can pull up. I've see if I can. Someone's going to have to.
Yeah, I don't know who the moderator is.
I think Andrew is doing it, and Andrew can possibly give you the access.
If if I can have access to that, Andrew, for the sharing, I can pull up our Prezo, so it'll illustrate a better understanding of how our system works. But essentially, we've designed it as like Lego blocks. So starter pack really quite consistently serves as 3 servers, which is considered best practice. Comes with 7 terabytes of usable storage. I believe it's cores, I think is 56 cores, and then 256 gigs of RAM. It might be a little bit more than that, but let me see here.
Yeah, the one thing that's really good about it is the fact that this is totally scalable. And the thing is, we've got space at Switch in Vegas, and Switch is the only tier 5 data center, I think, in the world, meaning it's the most secure data center that there is, right?
Okay.
We also have data centers in Los Angeles. We have them in Irvine. But the beauty of this is this grows, everything can be scalable. And the beauty, so let's say you were to go out there and buy the hardware for this. We're talking about a substantial amount of money. With the CloudTrek thing that really fits in really well is it's a monthly fee, and then it's scalable as you go. And the beauty of that is at the end of the 3rd year, all the equipment is refreshed to the latest and greatest technology at no additional cost.
Fantastic.
So the thing is, as you grow, we can just grow with you.
Sure. This is it. I think it makes perfect sense. And idea is, again, as a lean engineer, one of my jobs in any organization is to make sure that, waste is eliminated of all kinds. And when you eliminate waste, that means that, okay, I'm talking about from a global sense, okay? If I use an hardware which already exists, I'm creating a waste because I'm not utilizing whatever is available out there. So the idea is make perfect sense that we actually, grow as you grow. That's it. And all the stakeholders, as you grow and scale up, your cost goes down.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, that way it's a win-win situation for everybody. You do what you are good at doing, and, I do what I'm good at doing, and all the professors, teachers out there, and all the mothers out there will be doing what they are good at doing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, because, the beauty of this is, you just tell us what you need, and the thing is, as we scale the solution to where it needs to be, it can continually grow. I mean, to add, servers and memory and hard drive space and all that, it's very, very easy. And the one thing about CloudTrek too, that it's a 24/7 lights on data center, meaning that, okay, you're in Pakistan. If you needed to call the data center for whatever reason, at any point in time, they're going to pick up the phone. So the thing is, you get that customer service and support that you need as well.
Perfect.
And, for you guys, it's the fact that, hey, we're here in North America, you're in Pakistan. I think it's 13 hours difference, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So for you, it doesn't make any difference because it's a 24/7 lights on data center.
Correct. So now I think as a next step, what we should do is this. Target is, I'm giving you a scale. Okay. Scale is 10 billion people. Okay. 10 billion divided by 5 is, 2 billion families. So we start with 2 billion data points, and then, head of the family will be part of it. And then, we want to make sure that all the tools, current modern tools like this Kyocera smartphone, which is an educational tool,
right,
should be branded with SAMS, okay? And because SAMS is what we are, branding everything with. And that SAMS phone, as well as anything else needed by a GEMBA student, should be provided to them.
Okay.
So we manufacture all of those things in a climate smart manufacturing facility, because we are talking about climate smart products. So your manufacturing facility of Kyocera in Japan or anywhere else in the world should be following the climate smart standards.
Yeah, which they do. Yeah, because Kyocera is really big into renewable energy. We're into, solar panels, zero emissions technology, anything having to do with renewable energy, Kyocera is at the forefront of that.
Perfect, perfect.
So
I think it makes sense for all the corporations to really now, contribute towards, zero emission and all the climate smart standards. And simply put, 17 SDGs should be implemented everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know how many Toyota Priuses are running around Pakistan, but the solar panels and all those are made by Kyocera.
Perfect.
So,
and I think this is exactly, and Kane Telford has developed rolling, folding solar panels.
Yeah.
He's already developed that in Australia. And then, Dr. Paul Olivier says that, okay, solar panels is outdated, we have much better systems than solar panels,
Yeah.
So why worry about them? Why worry about solar panels?
Right. And the thing is too, there's so many technologies that Kyocera is getting into that Steve and I actually don't even know about, to be honest with you, because they're always doing, new stuff, and they're developing new technologies. So
correct. And I think I love R&D companies because, since, Kyocera will be part of this university campus town. So all the research and development activities, which they are doing, we can cost effectively do that.
Right.
So I'm seeing CloudTrack over here now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Keith, we can see it. So
finally got a hold of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like to build the drama up there, guys.
There you go.
Correct.
Okay, so
I like the word agile. It's my favorite word.
So this is essentially just a quick overview. I'm not going to delve too deep into it, but I'm going to just highlight some of the benefits of who CloudTrack is. So CloudTrack is, again, a high performance private cloud environment. We're highly flexible and agile. We're kind of boutique in a sense, so we can work really nimbly and quick. As Patrick indicated, we are 24/7, 365. So we have eyes and hands in our data center and our NOC. So if there's any sort of issues that surface, we can simply go in and hit a reset, pull out a hard drive, replace that. And on all of this will be alerted to you and or your team, whoever you assign on your end. But we're essentially going to be managing everything from A to Z all the way through. So CloudTrack originated back in 2012. Again, we're a private cloud provider. Here is our data centers currently. So we more than likely put you in Vegas at Switch, as Patrick indicated. It's a highly secure environment, redundant environment.
Dallas is one of our, destination for, the agribusiness park. We are buying 163-acre site, a dairy farm in Dallas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then, yeah, we can look into planning that in Dallas as well, either one.
Sure.
But we're very flexible on that end of it. Our approach is essentially what we're doing right here is the discovery, design, development, deploy. Our requirements is pretty simple too, which we'll get to in a minute. But this is really our value prop that separates us from a lot of the other companies and even your public domain. It's fixed pricing. So it's like over here, there's CarMax. There's no negotiation of the price. It's a fixed price, but what you're going to get behind that is quite valuable in our opinion. Everything, as you, Patrick indicated, you get new gear. It's your equipment. You're going to be making monthly CapEx payments on that, but it's brand new equipment. And after year 3, we replace and upgrade that to the latest and greatest. And if materially anything hasn't changed, your payment stays status quo. And you just have brand new equipment. So you don't have to deal with support contracts and all that. We manage that. Highly reliable and resilient. We do an N+1. Again, the refresh and agile and flexible. We just did a recent success story. We basically managed the entire infrastructure as a service for a company, St. John Knits. They're here at Newport Beach. They have 1,300 employees. They're global, and they've been around since 1962. This kind of just gives you a scale of your options out there. And this is kind of where we swim. You've got your public cloud, you have your old gear, you have to relocate your office, and that could be the impetus of why you'd want to maybe consider going to the cloud. Everybody's starting to adopt it even more so moving forward with COVID and all that. And here with the option that we provide, there's no nickel and diamonds, 5 nines. We manage, we'll deploy, configure, migrate, all included in our monthly payment. There's no additional statement of work fees or professional service fees, unless it's out of scope, there might be something, but by and large, everything that we manage and do, it'll all be embraced under our 1 monthly payment here. Again, 24/7, hands and eye support, HIPAA compliant. And these are really your options out there. You've got your public domain, your Microsoft, your Azure, and Rackspace, and then you have CloudTrek. And the beauty about private cloud is you get that the control and security that you don't get when you're working with the public domain. And plus, your pricing will always fluctuate. This is essentially just kind of highlighting what we've already kind of covered. Let's go through this. And this is kind of what our money shot would be considered. If you're looking comparing like to like between AWS, Azure, and CloudTrek, there's a huge discrepancy in pricing. We're 78% less than AWS, and we're 53% less than Azure. And if you're looking here, you're coming with 56 CPU, 256 gigs of RAM, 7 terabytes of usable storage, and 2,000 IOPS. And this isn't an N+1, so there's 3 servers. And then just add Lego blocks with the amount of resources you need. So it scales out, very simple. And they're all the same design. So CPU to CPU will always marry up well. So there's no conflict. We purposely designed it that way. And this is our relationship with Kyocera and kind of where we fit in the scheme of their line card of folks and what they do. Obviously, they're a private cloud infrastructure provider. And some of the benefits: single tenant, fixed price model, owned and operated by us, of course. Ability to define and data management your policies, complete control over your architecture and software. And again, here's your 3 hypervisors, whatever flavor you want. But if you're in the infancy right now, then we'll just put you in the Microsoft world because they have VDI, native VDI connected to that. And if you wanted to globally expand through Microsoft, you can go to an Azure environment with a couple clicks. It's that simple. So it's very simplistic and efficient. And I'm not going to really kind of go through this. On-premise, private cloud, public cloud. Again, I've kind of touched on that. That's really irrelevant there. And this is just kind of a line card of some of the folks who are in our environment, and we are either doing infrastructure, disaster recovery, or both, essentially. We've got B of A, we have the Hollywood Bowl, we have some colleges, we have some medical as well, radio stations, libraries, museums. And that's really about it. So it's pretty simple. All we really need is how many cores, how many gigs of RAM, and how much storage. Those are the 3 principles that we need so we can create a quote. Now, obviously with your design, we're going to have to really lean on you to provide that information so we can help design that quote for you. So
well, currently what we're talking about is that 2 billion mothers getting transformed into entrepreneurs. So they will be running, divide 2 billion mothers by 25. So those are the kind of new companies I'm creating. And any SME services which we need to provide to those SMEs will be, we will provide them with all the tools to run their business headache free. So they focus on the business and we take care of all the, back-end services, paying taxes and maintaining their systems and everything else, so they don't have to worry about hiring an accountant or anybody else. They just focus on their business. We take care of the rest of them legally and ethically.
So when is this taking flight? It sounds
it is January 1.
Okay. So January 1.
Currently, we want to do miracles, that's what we are out here to do. Currently, $2,000 has been given to say each, US citizen.
Okay.
Currently, right?
I wish. That's not going to happen, but I wish.
Well, this is the whole idea.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is the whole idea. Okay. What we want to do is this. I'm enhancing that $90 billion to $1 trillion.
Right.
Okay. So I think every government would love.
Mhm.
Okay. And we can give this offer to President Trump that, okay, if he does all the right things, I'm going to make sure that in, 5 years time he's a trillionaire without being a president of this country.
Right.
This is what he loves. He loves to become a trillionaire, right? I mean, he would love to
Yeah.
be that.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I mean, I like entrepreneurs, and that was the first entrepreneurial president, which we which we found in our history, who
Yeah.
negotiates everything. Everything he does is negotiations.
Yeah.
He just
Right.
knows negotiations, right?
Right.
He has made the government a business, So this is
Right.
good. So anyways, so what we want to do is really make sure, and in a nutshell, I'm defining something, okay, over here. There are UN member countries, 200 of them, right?
Mhm.
And this model is being practiced in UAE. Okay, Sheikh Mohammed, the good friend of mine. And their practice is this, they've got a happy minister. Okay. In UAE, they've got a happy minister, and they've outsourced everything to corporations because they believe that the governments are not efficient. They
Mhm.
don't run like Procter and Gamble, They don't operate and run like companies. So he said, okay, these companies are doing it efficiently, and so let them do the work. So he is actually outsourcing everything.
Mhm.
So this is known as a new model of governance. 100% corruption free, no corruption at all, and we don't need so many, loops of people trying to provide the service. And, I mean, it's very complicated, the whole system of governments, everywhere. So now COVID-19 is actually really forcing all the governments to become lean. Because, I mean, they are all mostly bankrupt and, they cannot really operate with the way
Right.
they were operating. So we want to transform the governments and provide our services so that they become lean. Okay. And when they become lean, their expenses will be lower. All the stakeholders in the government will be enjoying a total quality life because they won't have any headaches, because we will be running the systems for them. And that way, everybody enjoys, total quality, inflation-free life.
Mhm.
We know that for sure that, all the banks are, now, I mean, this lady who is running the, European bank, what is her name? I mean, she's a good friend, of our prime ministers, our finance minister here, in
Mhm.
Pakistan. And she was, I think, running IMF before. I forgot the name of the lady anyways. So she actually, when she was in Pakistan, predicted that the life of the banks are almost just 1 year. That's it. After 1 year, there won't be any banks. She's a banker, okay? And she's running IMF and she's running the European bank now. Because now I think all the banks are transitioning into this, this environment of, Bitcoins and bit currency and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time. And I think this guy who actually developed this currency, Zuckerberg did, I think, the Facebook guy. He is actually, he developed a small, bit currency also, something like
Right.
Flash or something like that. But anyways, I mean, now I'm not in the domain of currency and stuff like that. I'm a very simple person. I like to sell gold. I'm a gold miner. I like buying gold mines and transforming them into climate smart mines so that, they don't create pollution. Okay.
Right.
And all that gold will be now available to 7 billion residents. That's it. So we are in the business of delighting, every smallest business out there, as well as all the biggest business which is out there. Bill Gates is my client because I give them, these beautiful artwork of gold and diamonds. I mean, they buy these things. I mean, they love it,
Yeah.
and they keep all.
Yeah, I was going to say my wife loves gold and diamonds. Just FYI.
Exactly. All the ladies love it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that is the reason, what I'm making them is this. This is actually what you just mentioned, So
Yeah.
what you love, you create yourself. I'm going to give you a 3D printer.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the diamonds and, all the stones and the gold. And you
Yeah.
create your own jewelry,
Yeah.
in our Wheel of Life Farm School, jewelry center.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
That's it. So, we are really into delighting everybody,
There
we
you go.
understand the customers and then we delight them, that's what we do.
Right. So I think that we still,
Any more
so-
questions?
yeah. So when it comes to the blockchain technology that you're talking about and also the virtual wallets, do you have the software already picked out, or is that something that you need us to recommend for you, or how?
I think Aubrey Zhang, actually one of our gentlemen in Canada,
Mhm.
who is also a PhD and, doing a number of things, working with Richard Nelson.
Right.
I was actually into blockchain situation. And then he says, okay, Mufaddal, blockchain is outdated.
Mhm.
Now there is a Holochain technology.
The Holochain, that's right. Yeah.
So we should use Holochain. So all those software has already been developed, right? So
Mhm.
the current best available software, okay, which is fail-proof. That's what important because, cybersecurity is very important. We want the systems to operate in a very fail-proof manner,
Mhm.
okay? So all those fail-proof software where we can really protect the data of
Mhm.
all the 7 billion, 8 billion residents, and that is what our responsibility is. When people give them their data, we need to protect the data. It should not be really
Yeah.
leaked out in any fashion. So we want really fail-proof security, and we want to have a system and software also, which is really fail-proof. Hardware is available with you guys, so there is no issue there. We should use the current best Holochain technology, okay? And those people who have developed it, that team will be formed, and simply they will be maintaining it. We outsource it to them because they've already done it, so there is no point in reinventing the wheel also over there. People
Right.
who have developed Holochain technology will be giving their software to us. We utilize your hardware and we integrate that software into maintaining these e-wallets.
Right. So Keith or Igor, I noticed that Igor's on the phone. Do you guys have very much knowledge or experience with the Holochain technology, or does Vincent potentially?
I don't. I'm familiar with blockchain, for example, cryptocurrency, where it just houses a bunch of kind of like servers, so to say. But myself, I don't have.
Well, the beauty of the Holochain technology, Keith, is like your system, okay?
Right.
It makes the things headache-free, okay? And all the problems associated with blockchain, these people have resolved it. So the hardware is also very, very simple. And, I love the technology, and Aubrey actually has used it because Aubrey has developed a system whereby it's like Zoom, which we are using now. And that Zoom is free. Okay. And he has developed his own Zoom, platform. And he is using this Holochain technology to maintain the servers, etc. in that.
So have you created a budget for 2021 as far as IT budget?
Well, the situation is very simple. All the technologies and everything which we need to really build these campuses, and I'll give you in a nutshell what we are after. Okay, now these two campuses which we are building now, currently, right? One in Texas and one in this Buffalo gold mine. Now, since we are talking about educating everybody through these technologies, which we have available now, in parallel, so while the people are working in this Buffalo and Texas, campus towns, it will be live and people will be seeing what is happening. And then that thing gets duplicated in every 10,000 cities of the world. So basically what we are talking about in 2021, this is the target for 2021, okay? 10,000 cities exist in the world. In each city, we are duplicating this 500 communities, climate smart campus town in every city.
Okay.
That's the scope of the work.
Okay. So when creating these campuses then, or these 500 community homes, where have you broken ground? Has anything been constructed?
Yeah. Correct. The site exists, multiple number of sites exist. And another beautiful part, okay? Everybody today in the world needs climate smart, immunity boosting food, okay? And now we need to find out how can we really provide this food with agility. So I said, well, the best places where we can build these climate smart entrepreneurship department and this wheel of life farm schools are the university campuses, and then colleges, and then high schools, So
Mhm.
these are the places which we need to build these things, So that's how it is now being built in parallel, because all the school exists, sites are there, all the colleges exist, sites are there, all the university exists, sites are there, and the number of students are varying depending on, school will have smaller population than college, and the university has the highest population, right? So we are building this thing to provide this climate smart food to everybody, and every Wheel of Life farm school, the first thing which we will building in those farm school is this hospitality health center, which we talk about hospitality center, so that, people of all COVID-19 families can be treated with agility in the college and university campus closest to them.
So who's paying for this? How is this being subsidized?
Pretty simple. I mean, I'm offering, there are two ways of doing it, okay? 2 billion mothers getting into, 8 billion residents, joining our TQLMA club with 1 PGC, okay? Everybody can join, and those people who don't have 1 PGC also, they are so poor, they don't even have $2 Canadian, we will give them Kardanasna or whatever, but everybody will be included, because we want to make sure that everybody enjoys a clean life to fight the COVID-19. So that's a model, okay? So that's a budget. You have at least have that, 8 billion, PGC or 16 billion Canadian dollars available, through this enrollments. Then the 5,300 PGC GEMBA program. Okay, so we are offering that to 2 billion mothers. All right, 5,300 PGC, $10,600 lifetime education for children, mothers, everybody. So that's a cost-effective model of providing education. Climate smart, current best education, okay, developed by NGOs University and a number of other, all the university professors are part of it. Okay, transforming all the teachers, professors into entrepreneurs. They will be all be joining our program and putting their money into our, wheel of our climate smart fund. We call it a climate smart fund, SAMS climate smart fund, where all this money and savings of everybody will be parked. Okay, and all this thing will be maintained through our, data center in a very transparent manner. This is how the money is rolling in. Correct? I cannot hear you, Keith. Keith, unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. So again, just trying to clarify how that operates as far as the finances to develop, to build, and then now this money is going to these people, these mothers, for example, as you share. Where is that actually coming from? Where's the finances?
I just mentioned, right? I mean, we have currently bought a $2 billion mine. We have just finalized the contract with the miner, and so that $2 billion asset is available. So 2 billion mothers knows that my gold, which I'm actually buying or getting from, SAMS TQLMA Global, exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's a physical asset, right? Which we are acquired.
Right.
So it exists. So that is a $2 billion, say, of an asset which we have. Now we have got organizations, NGOs and non-profit as well as for-profit organizations working with us, so that now utilizing this software technology, one of our friend in Canada has developed this Enitram kind of a software where he says who you are, which makes perfect sense, that all the data about every resident, his descendants, which community they belong to. So he has developed an enrollment kind of a system whereby the data of all these individuals, 10 billion residents, can be acquired. So we're using that software to get the data of everybody. So we know each and every person, who they are, where they live, so that now we can go to them and help them out in this COVID-19 scenario. So that's how that data gets collected. Now the economic part, I mean, our blockchain data center, Holochain data center, and now providing these e-wallets is the economic part of it. So in their e-wallets now, it's like a credit card or whatever you call it. They will have this money available. Whatever assets they have will be converted into this gold, and then gold will be reflected in these e-wallets, and it will be maintained by your data center.
Okay, and then Okay, so then how are we paid for the monthly payment? And do you have, and
Of
this
course,
is the, go ahead.
I mean, our company will pay. We sign a contract with you. The only requirement is this, Keith, and I mean, that's what in the question answer session in your presentation, I just wanted to ask you this question: that okay, I've given you all the SMEs, all the companies. We will be providing them the service most cost-effective manner. Idea is very simple, that we are reducing their cost, and when we integrate, provide them the service through our data center here, their cost will be lower and they will be getting the best service, hardware, software, everything they need, any SMEs. So we're including all the SMEs. We are creating SMEs ourselves, because $1 million companies will be created by our GEMBA students. And the question I have is this now, that in your operation, okay, how much cost is involved in terms of financial cost and insurance cost?
As far as what do you mean by that in terms
I mean, obviously you're operating your business, right?
Yes.
You're operating your business and you are actually having a financial model of the way you're operating it, right?
Correct.
And you are making, I mean, you're given me a fixed price, which is good. I like it. Always low prices, which is you are following the Walmart model. Okay. So now that is good. So you are now with that price, there is a cost price of providing the service. Okay. And you are making a certain amount of profits. And in that cost structure, which you guys have, how much of that cost is being paid to the banks in terms of interest?
I don't personally have that information. I'm in the
So
sales end.
if we can talk to your financial guy, your finance manager, okay, who leads your financial officer, then what we are suggesting is this, that, if we can save you that cost so that, your financial cost is reduced to zero, whatever finance you need, you get it from us. Right? So that financial cost is, so that becomes, that actually your company now follows the climate smart tie-up standard. So your operation is lean. Okay. You're operating it in
I mean, I know we pay cash for all of our equipment. That much I know.
Wonderful. Which is good.
So
now that is what I'm simply saying is this, that if you are using the banks for any reason, for anything, okay, and you're paying interest of any kind to any bank, we can come in and get the interest out of your equation. That's it.
Yeah.
And then that interest which comes out of your equation becomes my savings. You just give that savings to me. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, the only thing is, it's like, Kyocera is the same way. Kyocera and I think CloudTrack work on the same business model, is the fact that we have no debt, which is something that Kyocera,
I love it.
That Kyocera is really big, and I know that CloudTrack is too, to where, again, you pay cash up front because of the interest. Kyocera is one of the few companies globally that actually that carries no debt, which is,
I love it.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. You know what I mean? So that means that, okay, what we are saying is this, that probably the gap between our climate smart standard and the Kyocera standard, or the standard of most of the Japanese companies, are very low.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I know that, and I mean, because banks are still there in Japan, and I'm sure some bit of debt financing is being done by companies.
Yeah.
So we are interested in really eliminating the debt financing. And that's a promise of SAMS, basically. That instead of, giving that money to the banks, we will provide you the finance, become your equity finance partner. So don't give it to the banks and, give that savings to us.
Right.
We'll buy your capacity and products.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting business model. Yeah, because there's a lot of companies out there that obviously, leverage themselves to the hilt. And that's how come a lot of these companies in the United States are going out of businesses, because they can't financially sustain themselves.
Exactly. And one of the research, I'm actually giving you the facts, that one of my PhD student, who is a professor of now entrepreneurship, in Pakistan, he did the research during the 2008 crisis. And then he came up with this model, and I mean, it's a very database kind of a conclusion he made, was that the root cause of all the bankruptcies of the world are banks.
Yeah.
That is a conclusion, So then
Right.
it's
So-
simple that, we are not actually, against all the infrastructure, technology, people, everybody else who are working in the banks.
Mhm.
Only thing is this, that, we need to really eliminate interest-based, debt financing from the banking system, and then everything will fall in place after that.
Yeah.
Can I jump in here for a second?
Sure thing, Terence.
Okay, so here's what he's saying. If anybody's lost, he's saying that when I saw your presentation, it said $39.95 as a base price compared to the others. And so what he's saying is that if there's any interest accumulated in that, that would be subtracted away from your base price. Even though you have a fixed price, that interest over a certain period of time, let's say 3 years, it's what you guys do with the finance company. Over 3 years, whatever that interest cost is would disappear, and you would reduce the amount that he pays by that percentage of savings. So if you paid I'm just using an example. If you paid $2,000 in interest, you would subtract that from your price of what you earn over time. However, what you guys are saying is that, no, we get $39.95. That's our price. That's fixed because we buy all of that. We buy all of our equipment up front. So we don't have any debt costs that we're carrying. But usually for the consumer doesn't have that money up front. So they will sign a contract with a leasing company or whoever, and now they will pay that money to the leasing company to equal those payments over time. He's saying subtract that they would normally pay from them and give us the savings, and now that $39.95 that you get, which you get anyway, stays the same without any interest costs.
And to add on to the Terence's, clarification, obviously there are, retail price, wholesale price, and bulk price. And if I say I have to buy all your capacity, which you're available, then obviously there is a price out there, and your profitability remains same, or I will enhance your profitability by 10%. So you are actually making more money, but you don't have to do any sales anymore because I'm buying the capacity.
Yeah, because one of the things that Kyocera does, which is similar, like when we do our stuff, and I know CloudTrack does the same thing. Like, we have 3 and 5 year agreements, right? And if someone signs up on a 5-year agreement, then they get a discount, right?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Same
Got
thing.
it. Got it.
So I'm talking
Understood.
about a 99-year commitment from you.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do, 99-year lease, we buy the land. When we get the land, we want to make sure that, since we are investing in the land is for us for 99 years. So for us, it's not a small contract, it's a lifetime contract.
Got it. Yeah.
So now you have to, okay, so you're dealing in Islamic finance a little bit now, right? So no interest, but you buy it over time because they don't, in Islam, they don't pay debt. So they pay for a specific period of time, and your money is earned over the specific period of time. So the contract is longer, you make more money over that time, because here's what happens. Your technology doesn't change. I'm sorry. As your technology changes, you give an upgrade every 3 years anyway. So he's saying your price is $39.95, for example. I want a contract for 99 years. And so every iteration of your growth is going to be 3 years, you're changing your equipment. So he's going to be getting new equipment for 33 years, is simply put. I'm being very, very simple about it. But you get that fixed number. And also what he's saying is that all those people that come into the business are going to use your solution for their iteration of their business, because you're delivering them a back office support system that's built into this Holochain that he's talking about.
Right.
So you make more money. That's what he's saying.
Right. So yeah, what it is, it's pretty much a lifetime agreement.
Lifetime agreement. Exactly.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Keith, are you understanding?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to assume that you didn't understand.
No. I appreciate the clarification, so I kind of understand it through your eyes and Mufadal's eyes as well. So, kind of this Buffalo gold mine.
The other point I want to make is this also, Keith. Okay, when you become part of our company, most of the governments are offering us, incentive packages now. When we bring in foreign direct investment into any country, they are offering us these incentive packages. One of the very popular packages, Startup New York program, where you get 10-year tax holidays. So when you become part of our company, then you also enjoy those tax holidays also. That's an additional savings, which comes into the consumer's pocket.
So getting back to this,
thing that you would see. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Keith. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious on the Buffalo gold mine, and that's in Oregon. Do you have? Is there like a website?
Idaho, Oregon. Yeah, I'll send you the details.
Okay, that's fine. And then kind of circling back from a start point in terms of resource account, where do we start at then to build out a quote? I know you.
Simply, SAMS TQLMA Global is our company. Currently, one of our group companies who is actually finalizing the negotiations with Buffalo Gold Mines, CNS LLC. And we are trying to incorporate CNS LLC as a startup New York company also in, in Cornell University. So, either it will be, currently, I think the current existing company is Independence Day Inc., who is a TQLMA group company based in California. So you can use that company's platform to do it. And, that's it. And then, the other thing which we can do is this. Since we are forming this whole situation and we want to make sure that we cost effectively operate our situation, we are also in the process of incorporating SAMS TQLMA Global USA as a startup New York company. So we can operate a new company. You guys can also become part of it. Since you are providing the solution, you guys can become a director also. One of your, leadership team members. You can become director in the company. So it's our own company, okay, which we have registered in SAMS TQLMA, as a startup New York company. And, then everybody enjoys the 10-year tax holidays and everything. So that is also an option available.
Okay.
So this is sort of, Keith, this is sort of like the opportunity zones on steroids, right? So I think what you're trying to get to is the base of, okay, it costs, I'm just using a base number, it costs $200,000 to get this done. Our quote comes out. How do we get that initial $200,000? I'm a cut to the chase kind of guy. So if I'm hearing you, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but you're saying, okay, we're going to put together a quote and we want to do this work. How do we get that initial payment? I think that's
actually it's kind of a twofer, and that was part and parcel was one of the questions, but again, as a starting point, is we could put together a quote based on 100 terabytes of resources, and it would equate to X amount, right? Money, but it's so right. I guess it's just trying to drill into what do we put our quote on and whose name goes on the proposal, and then how many CTUs, which is CloudTrek units, by the way, CTUs, as we quantify them. How many of those coupled with the 7 terabytes of storage per CTU are we going to be putting together?
Okay. Is it possible for you to give me what it is that you need as your baseline?
Yeah,
put that together, and I'll reach out with Dr. Mufati and get that for you in a deliverable that allows you to build a real quote.
Yeah,
that speaks to how you speak.
Basically it's CPUs, storage, and
which is what you told me earlier today. You told me. Let me go back to my notes. If you'll give me 1 second. You told me that it was cores, RAM,
correct.
Storage.
Yeah, because you know what, Terrence, it's real easy. Because we can add as much resources as needed, right? It's just, based on the amount, that still doesn't equate to, because I think where we're not sure is based on, let's say the 2 billion mothers, right?
Right.
And setting up the virtual wallets, how much potential resource that would take, because, you can always start with a certain package and build on it as it grows, right?
Right.
If you need more, you just add, right? You just add more resources, right?
Of course.
Very, very easy to do. But I think what Keith needs is the starting point. Let's fire this up, and we know that
now, to answer that question, since if we, idea is to take up a challenge,
Mhm.
right? Idea is for this team to take up a challenge.
Mhm.
Now, with utilizing your resource, utilizing Kyocera
Mhm.
as our, joint venture partner in doing
Sure.
this project, it adds a lot of strength to us.
Mhm.
Kyocera is not a small player, okay?
Yeah.
My strength is Procter & Gamble and Walmart, not a small
Right.
player also, okay?
Yeah.
I know how they operate.
You're right.
And my strength is that I'm a Toyota production system. So Toyota is not a small company,
Mhm.
okay? So I'm part of these, huge corporations and companies. I understand how they operate. And as a lean engineer, my target is to really optimize their operations, make their operations climate smart, and all that results in cost savings. And this is how I deliver value to 2 billion mothers and to all my customers and clients, all the SMEs of our world who wants to work with me, and because I'm cost effective,
Mhm.
I can reduce their costs so that profitability increases. So you don't charge more to your customer to make the profit. You reduce your cost to make the profit, and I reduce their cost. And my model is very simple. Okay, suppose
Right.
I save $100 for you.
Mhm.
All right, I will say, okay, $72 you keep. Although you will be happy if I give you only $28 because
Right.
I made
Yeah.
$100 for you, right? So I
Right.
said,
Yeah.
okay, $72 you keep. We'll keep only
Right.
$28. I'm happy.
Right.
So they love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah.
say, this guy's really crazy. I mean, he's making $100 for me and giving me back $72.
Right. Okay.
Right. So with this model, starting from a very small SME, it is applicable to all corporations also.
It's crazy like a fox. Don't misunderstand. That
So
margin
anyway,
of 28%, that's a 28% return, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I want
look at the
everybody to get
return on
that.
investment.
That's
I mean,
compounded.
72.
Yeah.
And
Yes, but
all
he's going to
these
roll
things
the
are, we
72
want
back.
to,
That 72
yeah,
back is going to come back through
exactly.
the system because there are other services. So they will receive the 72, but it's then going to broken down. Their net is probably going to be about 14, but they're getting services to grow
Yeah,
their
'cause-
business. So their P&L is constantly growing and their cost is going down because of the more units. So what he's saying is that, let's say we started at 100,000 people. What does it take to do that
Mhm.
if you needed a baseline to start? But understanding he's inverting compounded interest. He doesn't use the term interest because that's against the faith. But what he's doing is he's inverting it by delivering the savings to the consumer. So the consumer won't go anyplace because where else can it get 72% on 72 cents on $100 to use to take care of its business? Now, if you go to the United States and
Right.
you look at what the average return, 65% on the P&L is basically what he is. So he's increased it by 7%. Now we're taking advantage of taxes. So that 72% will then get depreciated. And now they're going to recognize, even though initially they only had 14%, by the time they depreciated over the 5 years, they got another 30 to 40% back. So their return on investment is growing exponentially, even though the cash
Yeah.
that they saw. Okay, you guys got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And the challenge is this, what I'm giving since we take up the challenge, things happens. Okay. So now what we are talking about is this, when you talk about economy of scale, when you're talking about, say, designing a code for,
Yep.
say, I said, okay, design a code to start with, say, with a population of 53,000 families, which is going to be residing, in this Buffalo campus.
Mhm.
And 53,000 families, which is going to be residing in, say, Texas campus.
Mhm.
So instead of just 110,000 families, I'm saying, okay, the work you need to do for that particular, developing the quotation for that is similar to developing a quote for, say, all residents of our planet, all
Mhm.
families of our planet, 2 billion families of our planet. So the target is this. I tell you the target, okay? My target is to provide a 5G proof home to 2 billion families, because they need the home, right? And we are giving them home also as part of the package, because this is 110 home community, which we are self-sustaining communities, which we are building. And we are
Mhm.
building this through agile engineering. I know that it takes 4 minutes, to get a Toyota out of their production line.
Right.
This is agile engineering, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, Kyocera is very familiar with that technology.
Mhm.
So why can't we use the agile engineering to build, 2 billion homes in a similar way?
Mhm.
Same thing. Another thing I want from Kyocera is this. I need to get all the 3D printers which can print my homes. Currently, I'm producing 400 homes a day, utilizing the current technologies, okay? And if there are out there in Japan or anywhere else, in any R&D facility, a printer which can produce 1,000 homes per day for me, I would love it.
I don't know if that technology is there yet, but I can definitely make a phone call.
Definitely do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is an R&D project.
Yeah.
Patrick,
It's a
I will talk
Kyocera
to you
R&D
tomorrow.
project, okay? Develop a printer because, we are actually making homes, right? Globally.
Yeah.
So if we can say, ask Kyocera to give me a 3D printer. So instead of making 400 homes, per day, I can produce 1,000 homes per day.
Right.
So
It's an
Patrick, reach
R&D
out to me
project.
tomorrow.
Mhm.
Once you make your call, I'm going to introduce you to someone. I think I have a solution for that. That they just talked to me the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, because I
Okay.
think the thing is there's multiple things that we can do, right? To your point, you're utilizing a Kyocera phone. Kyocera is involved in technologies that we don't even know about,
I know.
because
I know that.
we're privy to certain things within our sphere of influence, but they're doing other
Okay,
stuff.
now tell the Kyocera leadership team this thing, okay? I'm a person who takes a concept out of the laboratory to the consumer with agility.
Yeah.
That's my expertise, okay?
Yeah.
Whatever is out there in the laboratory, I know how to transform that into a product, and there's a whole process of doing it. We call it a product launch model in PNG. I'm a master of that. And that's what we do. So all in R&D things, all the products which are in R&D currently in the Kyocera world, I can transform those products into reality with agility.
Yeah.
In this campus. Exactly in this campus, okay?
Yeah, especially because
building.
the two campuses, because right now, Keith, kind of what we're looking at within the two campuses, you're looking at 106,000 families. The thing is so you would want to do it to where it could scale from there. But the thing is what I think we need to do our thing on is because we're not really familiar with the Holochain technology. You had mentioned the gentleman in Canada. Let me get my notes here. Quandary, I believe was his name. The gentleman in Canada that has the expertise with the Holochain software.
Oh, Holochain software is actually Audrey Zong.
Right.
He's in British Columbia, Canada, Dr. Aubrey Zong. And, he can link you up with that. And he's working closely with Richard Nelson, the inventor of the Spirapod.
Right, because the thing is, like, the hardware is one piece of it, and the software, putting those software piece on top of the hardware is because CloudTrack can supply as much hardware as we need, right? As much horsepower, everything like that. What really puts us all together is the software piece. And
software, exactly.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the software, that's going to be a big part of the resource count, quite frankly.
Right.
Because as we all know, applications, they chew up a lot of the resources just to get the application to operate. And then at that point, it's operating, and then you're storing, essentially, right? So like in the case really with the 7 terabytes usable, it's really, I believe it's 15 terabytes raw, but after the OS and everything's layered on that, it chews away at that. So that probably would be the starting point, Patrick, is to connect with this gentleman to find out what type of demand this application is going to require, and that would probably.
I will share some videos, of the this technology, the people who have developed it. So maybe we can really go directly to the developer of the technology.
That would be fantastic, because that's really going to determine, to Keith's point, how much resource we're going to need, and we can figure out numbers, right? We can work with you to figure out numbers and growth, right? Like how quickly is this going to move, right?
But now, like I said, that's what I'm answering the question. What I'm saying again and again is this:
Yeah.
that, okay, what we are doing here is say, I mentioned 106,000 homes.
Families. Yeah.
110,000 families, right? Which
Mhm.
will be residing in Texas as well as in Buffalo, right?
Correct.
But
Yeah.
in parallel, I have a
Yeah.
project which Imran Khan has given me, our PM, to build 5 million homes in Pakistan into 2021.
How many?
Okay.
5 million?
5 million homes, right? Now,
That's a few.
no, I mean, that's the reason I'm asking 1,000 homes per day kind of,
Yeah.
printers.
Yeah.
We need multiple of those printers to start doing it, print the homes, like printing paper,
Yeah,
and those
absolutely.
homes will be disaster proof and will be the best homes, which anybody can make. It will be floating homes in the coastal towns because, people are predicting that Pakistan will be underwater in 10 years. So I said, well, we need to really float Pakistan now, make everything floating.
Yeah,
right?
put them on boats, like almost like house homes
Put them
or
on the boats,
houseboat homes.
So
Yeah,
if the
right.
water comes, we are above water all the
That's
time.
right. Yeah.
Right? So there's a
Well,
planning which we are doing.
Hey, there was a flood, right? So you never know, right? And,
you never know.
Yeah.
So actually, this gentleman, Lloyd Helferty, when I was buying the site for my, I bought actually a site of 500 acre, which is
Yeah.
accessible by sea as
Right.
well as by road from Karachi, right? Wonderful
Mhm.
site, okay? So Lloyd Helferty comes and gives me all the data points and everything and tells me, Mufaddal, you are a dumbest person out there, Don't invest a single cent on this site because this site will be underwater in 10 years.
Right.
So I said, I replied to that huge email, okay, 5 pages email of Lloyd Helferty with all the data points because he is an engineer. So he gives me all the data, right? So then I replied with one, statement. Let's make our campuses floating. That's it. And he started working on it. So that makes sense. Good.
Right.
Let's make it floating. So, this is the beauty of, the collective wisdom. And this is a beauty of a campus. In the campus, there is no hold barred. You do anything you like to do. Experiment and do anything you like to do. And we want to now do innovation and development with agility. Like COVID-19 has taught us this, right? A vaccine takes 10 years to get approved. Now it got approved in 1 year.
Right. Yeah.
So it happened. Why? Because now everybody decided that this is an urgent matter. If we don't approve it and if you don't make it lean and if you don't do the right things at the right time, a lot of people will die.
Right.
In the similar situation, this is the case with the climate smart situation also. If you don't fix this planet in the right time, these floods, these earthquakes, all these natural disasters are going to be coming.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just going to get worse.
It's getting worse, right?
Yeah.
So now actually what we are on the mission of really on a war footing, we need to fix our planet.
Yeah.
We don't have the luxury to wait.
Yeah. Okay. So
and we are doing it in a very, very silent way.
Yeah.
No more conference, no more talking. I like the word, I like the word COP. Although people are against COPs, right? So I like the word COP, and that COP means cooperative of practitioners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Instead of cooperative talkers, I don't like talking. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Right.
Let's try it. And you might say, Kit might say, okay, what are we talking about here? How can I really now plan this thing? I came here to plan it for 100 people. Now this guy is talking about doing it for 10 billion people,
Yeah.
it's impossible. How can we do it? I said, okay, let's do it. I'm giving you the task to do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
Well, the one thing about it is it's definitely possible to do it. The thing is, like I said, as far as scaling hardware, that's the easy part, right?
I know it's the easy part.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
And then I'm going to give you the inventor of the Holochain guy who will work 18 hours a day with you to make sure it happens.
Yeah, because that's going to be the piece. Yeah, that's going to be the piece. Yeah, Keith,
because the hardware needs to be driven by software, right? And he's going to be developing the software to do it. And the idea is beautiful, okay? What I'm saying is this. You say, okay, I need Mufaddal, 1,000 GEMBA students, all the IT experts available in the world today to work for you. I have that available.
Yeah.
Because I'm enhancing their income by 10%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're all working for us. Simple. Okay.
Yeah.
So the resources, the beauty of the campus is this. And people do always ask me, okay, Mufaddal, how many engineers you have? So I said, well, I have 50,000 engineers in Pakistan. I've got 100,000 engineers in my team in India. And in all UN member countries, I have numbers. So I've got about 1 million engineers working for me.
Yeah.
So there is no
Yeah.
company who has 1 million engineers.
Nobody. Yeah. Nobody on the
Nobody.
planet.
Nobody on the planet has it, right? So we
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
And they are all out of job now.
Yeah.
So they are very, very willing to work for me.
Andrew, are you trying to say something?
Andrew. Yeah, just a minute. Patrick, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, great. Yeah. I just want to revisit the original email that I sent to you and I believe Steve back on, I think it was June the 8th.
Mhm.
And that was the first introduction I had to Kyocera and the United Nations Global Compact. The
Yeah.
reason why I brought it up then and I'm bringing it up now is because even without the corona pandemic, it's estimated that we'll have to spend $5 to $7 trillion a year in the next 10 years to adapt to what we already knew was a major crisis in the world, climate.
Yeah.
With the COVID-19, now it's as Mufado is saying, this is a global reset. I'm hoping that this team can actually be on the forefront and take a page out of Donald Trump's book, actually do something that's so spectacular that we bring traffic to us and promotion around the world so that what we're doing becomes replicable. We don't have to pay for advertising. That's always been the challenge with Mufado's plan. How do you get 2 billion women, mothers, to even know about what you have? Well, the way to
Right.
do it is to actually do it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that what we can do, Keith, is we can work obviously with Terrence, get some additional information, because I believe that once we get the information on the Holochain, we can come up with something that we can present. And let's do it. I mean, the thing is, it's not impossible to do this. We just got to to your point, you got to move forward and you got to do it. You guys are already moving down.
The amoeba,
Go ahead.
the amoeba management system, is all we're talking about replicating right now. This is in fact a new cell. This is it. This is the reality of what you claim that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is too, it's like, I think once, the beauty of this too is it can be replicated. And the thing is too, within the CloudTrack solution, as this grows, that solution can grow with it, right? And we can add resources as we need it. And let's put it together.
What you haven't said, what hasn't been said, right, is that again, the country, the jurisdiction of Bermuda is so important to everything we're talking about. The entire African continent has the African Risk Capacity Agency on Bermuda to handle the risk mitigation about climate change in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Initially, this was funded by the UK and the EU. Now Africa is doing it itself. But look, you guys are in a place, I understand, to bring Islamic financial solutions that will be acceptable to the Middle East, because they are the ones most needing what it is that we're delivering. And yet we haven't even discussed how important this is to the UAE, to Saudi Arabia, to all those fossil driven economies that we are delivering solutions to, that we can actually accelerate all of this, I think, in a way that is really the fourth industrial revolution on steroids.
Yeah.
Now, I want to add on to what just William said. Yesterday in our meeting with Bill Susinski, and I will share the book which he has written, Bill Susinski. The statement was this, okay, if we convert all the cars of the planet to electric, make it Tesla. Okay? Ask Tesla, Leon Musk, to set up the facilities everywhere in the world so that all the cars of the world are electric. And Bill says that will just make an impact of like 5 parts per million. Okay, what we need to really stop is this. Okay, all the vessels, all the ships, which transports this good from one place to other like crazy.
Right.
it pollutes our environment. Okay, and I have actually, as an engineer, chemical engineer, I've developed a climate smart fuel, bunker fuel, so that I can reduce the pollution. Okay, we have the technology to do that. But now we are simply saying that we don't need those ships, because whatever a community needs, I'm going to be providing that community right there. So the value supply chain now gets converted into a value chain. So all these ships which is out there will become my floating Wheel of Life farm school campuses.
Now, to that regard, and I know this is turning out to be a long session, but the United Nations Habitat, they're charged with what they call the new urban agenda, because the entire world now is urbanizing, right? It's only when we can provide food sovereignty at the local level can we even begin to have a handle on damping down the out of pace growth of the cost of transporting food from one place to another. But the minute that we start delivering these solutions, it becomes relevant as deterrence to here in the United States to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, because they are the UN Habitat interface for the United States with the world, right? So with these promise zones and opportunity zones, the minute that we are able to get any of these solutions on one of those properties, then it becomes replicable not just throughout the United States, but also throughout Puerto Rico, right? And the US Virgin Islands and Samoa and Guam, so that we can actually have sovereignty for those places that now are under threat, existential threat from climate change, that we can provide these solutions to.
Got it.
Okay.
So basically, I think what we are talking about in a nutshell is that we are talking about really making our world, the whole planet lean and green. Okay. And whatever we need to do of providing the services to all the governments, all the corporations, and everyone who is part of the current supply chain, to really make them this offer that fine, your profitability will be enhanced by 10%, your efforts will be reduced by 10%, join hands with us and let us do everything. We have the capability of doing it.
Well, what you're leaving out, but what's not left out, right, is, for example, in South Africa. Now, I have the benefit of connecting with Princess Shepi there. I've connected you with her. Mufalo, we had a conversation today, right? In South Africa, for example, or even throughout the world, particularly in Africa, where you have 300 tribes, you only have 55 nations, right? But the political infrastructure only deals with the countries. It's actually the traditional and the indigenous people that own the land. And they're the ones that are suffering, because they have to travel to the urban areas, leaving behind the food producing resource that they have. So by us providing solutions that are local, we can actually provide a global solution.
Exactly. And I think I would mention this, that all these governments in Africa are actually held hostage by these tribes in Africa. So actually the communities in Africa is not the governments or cities, they are the actual tribes. So we have to really be delighting all the tribal chiefs and really transforming them into climate smart entrepreneurs so that they can implement this system with agility.
You have that access through me, and you have it access through Tepe and the Zulu Nation in South Africa. So you have at your fingertips everything that's needed. We just need a model that works that we can replicate.
Correct. That's it. And the model is available. And Andrew, again, from each tribe, let's say 110 individuals, professionals from each tribe should come and come to USA and start building our campuses.
Well, yes, and yes is all I'll ever tell you, but I won't hold up these gentlemen. I think if you, Terrence, if you can get to Keith what he needs, and we can move forward from this, and we can reconvene when that information is available.
Yeah, let's absolutely do it. And I'll make some phone calls tomorrow, and I'll find out if there's a 3D printer that could make 1,000 homes a day.
Exactly. Find out the
Yeah.
best one available so
Yeah.
that all the people who are involved in manufacturing the 3D printers, they come into our campus and they work with our students to, use the current available technology and then enhance the technology.
Got it.
You know, I
All
think
right.
we should probably connect also with the software developer. That'll be important, I think.
Yeah.
That
the
we will do.
Holochain.
That we will do. Exactly. And I will link you up immediately with the videos I have about the Holochain technology. So
Yeah.
then we can directly go to the inventor.
That'd be perfect.
Great.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
And just to let you know, we have these weekly meetings on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. That's where all this stuff comes out of. So you guys are welcome to kind of listen in if you so choose. But what we've been doing is we've been creating a docu-reality series that now includes this as a model that we can use to replicate and get our hip hop community and others to spread the word to the youth. Because unless the youth are involved, nothing's going to happen. We
Yeah.
have over 50% of the people in Africa are under 30 years old. They don't look at television. They listen to their music.
Yeah.
So we have to create messages that get out to them. That's why our promotions have to jazz up what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So Terrence, are you going to be available tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be on
Okay.
this tomorrow. Yes. Let me know what you need me to do. I'll move my schedule around. I'm going to address this directly so you can I'll get Keith what he needs so that we can clearly understand our next steps. And I'll talk, Dr. Mufati, I'll catch up with you later on.
Sure thing.
Yes, sir. So,
Whatever, I don't have to be, I think I've given all the introduction about, what we are
Yes.
after and what we are doing. So I don't need to be part of all the meetings, but wherever, you are stuck anywhere and if you need any inputs from me, I'm always available.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Greatly appreciated. Yeah, greatly appreciated.
I'll
Thank
send
you,
you all a link to this recording as well, so you can always refer back to it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Great.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Thank you.
Have a
guys.
wonderful
Love you
day.
all.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Good night,
I think we're all going
Happy
to
New
bed. I
Year.
think
Happy
you're
New
just
Year in
getting up.
advance.
Yeah. We're going to bed and you're just getting up.
True.
Take care.
Thank you
All right,
for
so
staying
long.
up long.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.